time for giving, and one local shelter is looking for help next week.
And get ready to light up Flagstaff with Little America. Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm student anchor Adrian Gurrola.
And I'm student anchor Trevor Anthony. Thanks for joining us.
Tressa Chudrick went to the Sunshine Rescue Mission to find out how you can help others this Thanksgiving.
If you're looking for ways to give back to your community this holiday season, the Sunshine Rescue Mission is in need of help in the kitchen. The Sunshine Rescue Mission is looking for volunteers to help prepare over 400 food boxes during the week of Thanksgiving. We went out to the mission to see what we could do to help. Volunteer coordinator Paul Sane reminds us what Thanksgiving is all about.
Well, the holiday is all about giving and sharing. So even though we do that every day, it's very unique during the holidays because we get to give a lot more.
As a volunteer, I chopped vegetables, prepared food, made dressing, and served the meal. Kitchen manager Russell Cookman says working at the mission helps him grow as a person.
I get to work with people and teach them things that I know, and which will help them in the future. And I get to know other people's stories. When the big layoffs happened about 4 or 5 years ago, I was going to become homeless.
For the Thanksgiving meal, Cookman plans on serving some of everyone's Thanksgiving favorites.
Your basic traditional Thanksgiving dinner: turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, pies, maybe some desserts, maybe banana pudding. Depends on what we get in stock.
This Thanksgiving, don't forget what you are thankful for and keep those who are less fortunate in mind.
Happy holidays.
The North Pole Experience, home of Santa's Workshop, kicks off the 2013 season with Little America's 19th annual Christmas lighting. Millions of Christmas lights will be lit tomorrow at 6:30 to mark the beginning of the 2013 Christmas season.
This new to Flagstaff tradition hits their 5th year of welcoming families and to build toys with the elves. The experience is the new only of its kind in the United States. For more information on the North Pole Experience or how to buy tickets, visit our website at naztoday.com. And 50 years ago today, President John F. Kennedy took a drive in the presidential motorcade. His ride was cut short by a bullet from the rifle of Lee Harvey Oswald. NAZ Today's Sierra Ferguson wasn't on the grassy knoll, but she does have more information here in the studio.
JFK's assassination is a really poignant event in the collective American memory, and those who are alive and old enough to remember can often describe in striking detail where they were and what was happening when they found out that Kennedy had been shot. I met a couple, Bill and Pat Oriole, whose memories of Kennedy ring a little bit different than most Americans. That's because the Orioles worked on a special Senate committee for the aging. They both had met Kennedy personally and had memories of him as a person. So they sat down to share their memories with me, and I'm here to bring them to you.
He had such a way with people that it was apparent that he liked you, whether he did really or not. He gave the impression he really liked you and wanted to know about you. And he was wonderful to work with. But I was standing there waiting for the train, and Kennedy came along. So the two of us rode to the Capitol together. And in that short ride, he learned everything about me. Names of my children, how many I had, and anything else he was interested in. Because he knew that I was a staff member of his committee. And so he was very interested in anything he could find out, which I thought was pretty amazing. He was a very active, interested senator. And when he decided to run for president, Nixon's office was right across the hall from his. And there was always a group of people in the hall interviewing one or the other. And when one was being interviewed, the other would come out and monitor it. It was quite an interesting affair to see these two men competing with their offices right across the hall from each other.
JFK was still a senator. Khrushchev from Russia, USSR, visited the Senate and I think addressed the Foreign Relations Committee. Senator Kennedy, who was about to go to the meeting where Khrushchev would speak, noticed me. He had seen me with the senator from New Jersey that I worked for, so he knew I was a staff member. And for some reason, he said, he's with me. And so I got a very good look at Khrushchev as he went into the hearing room. So that's just another example of how alert he was and how aware of staff and wanting to work with staff. And that's why he got such loyalty from staff members.
I was downtown and I was just returning back to the office, and the taxi driver turned around and said, "The president has been shot." And I was almost to the office by then, and as soon as we got there, I went in, turned on our television, and the whole staff was so stunned watching the proceedings before he died. And all night long, people walked in to view the casket. It was a time of high alert as far as the Senate police were concerned.
I was far from Washington later when President Kennedy was assassinated. I was in Arizona. And there was one crossroad, and there was a truck parked there. And the driver said, "Have you heard?" And that's how we learned that Kennedy had been assassinated, was the initial reaction. But the reactions that so many people had, so many people breaking down in tears, and people felt that this young man was really trying. And he was making progress in many fronts. He was struggling in other fronts. But he was also very earnest, very dedicated to the just causes that he felt and that others felt. So it was quite an experience.
Kennedy also made a significant impact on our nation's space program, insisting that we beat the Russians into space.
And Flagstaff, being home of Lowell Observatory, is both connected to the space program and Kennedy in more ways than you might think.
NAZ Today's Gus Majora met with Kevin Schindler of Lowell Observatory to talk about Kennedy's visit and impact on Flagstaff.
We're talking about when JFK came to Flagstaff back in 1960. I understand you know a lot about this event. Can you talk about the event and how it impacted the city?
Sure. I wasn't here yet. In fact, I wasn't alive, but doing research through newspapers and talking to a lot of locals, it was quite an event. JFK in January of 1960 had announced his intent to run for president. In April, he came to Flagstaff on the first stop of an Arizona trip. And he stopped in Flagstaff in the morning, then went to Phoenix, Yuma, Tucson, all in that day. Flying around, so his stops were quick, but he flew into the airport, and as I understand, there are so many people at the airport, locals, that wanted to see him. A lot of them couldn't even see him. It was such a crowd. So, you know, there are a lot of folks at the time who lived here who remember that visit fondly, partly because it was an exciting politician, but then, of course, after the fact, he became president, and the legacy of JFK with the 50th anniversary of his assassination we're celebrating right now. And, you know, really his long-term impact on Flagstaff is, you know, he visited, but really if we look at Flagstaff today, we're known as a science community, a lot of astronomy, geology and such, and a lot of that came out of JFK's declaration that America was going to go to the moon and beat the Russians there. And with that came the establishment of USGS, which led to astronaut training, moon mapping there and at Lowell Observatory, instrument testing. So all this stuff was done here in Flagstaff in preparation to fulfill Kennedy's quest to go to the moon.
Well, that's amazing, all the things that JFK has done for Flagstaff and the space community. We would like to thank you again for coming in today. If you'd like to get any more information about President Kennedy's visit to Flagstaff and all of the events that took place afterwards, you can visit naztoday.com where we'll have more information. Back to you guys at the desk.
When we come back, find out if that cold weather is here to stay.
Snoring can be more than a mild annoyance. It could be a sign of a much deeper problem with your sleep pattern. If you suffer from sleep disturbances, trust the Mountain Heart Sleep Center in Flagstaff for effective treatment. With a full-time staff led by Dr. Stephen Marks, your corrective care is immediate with no need for a referral. And they're the #1 accredited sleep center in northern Arizona, Mountain Heart Sleep Center, for a good night's rest.
Welcome to NAZ Today Weather. I'm student forecaster Alexa DuMity. Thanks for tuning in. Well, we had the pleasure of waking up to just a little bit of snow this morning, even a winter weather warning through 2 p.m. today. But then we saw that really heavy rain that you're looking at right behind me. All of Arizona, just south of us, saw that pretty heavy rain due to this low pressure system sitting right here that's sending that storm our way. We've seen it for the past couple days, mostly in the form of rain, but tonight we may even start to see some of that snow, but we have this very moist air coming up from the south that's kind of moving that storm our way. It's going to move through, though, by Sunday. But until Sunday, we're going to see some snow. Tonight around midnight, snow levels are going to drop 6,000 to 7,000 feet. Are going to see 4 to 8 inches just after midnight tonight. This is for the whole storm, not just tonight. But through Sunday, we could get up to 8 inches depending on when that snow starts. 7,000 to 8,000 feet in elevation, it's going to see 8 inches to a foot. And up above 8,500 feet, so that means the peaks, mainly the San Francisco peaks, are going to see 3 to 4 feet by the time the storm moves through. But tonight, 30 degrees, rain becoming snow. That heavy rain we saw all afternoon is going to turn into some little snowflakes. We could have up to 5 inches by morning if that snow starts a little bit earlier than midnight. Sunset was at 5:16. Tomorrow, we're going to continue to see that snow, although it's not going to be quite as heavy as we saw it overnight. 1 to 3 inches of additional snowfall during the day. 38 degrees is going to be the temperature. Sunrise at 7:09 for Saturday morning. Forecasted temperatures across the state. Sedona is going to see 40 degrees tonight. Prescott, 36 degrees. Phoenix, 55 degrees tonight. Payson, 37. Highs for tomorrow, 52 degrees in Sedona, 51 in Kingman, 62 in Lake Havasu, 44 up in Page, and 45 out in Show Low. All right, let's take a look at the Flagstaff extended forecast. I already told you Saturday, 38 degrees with some snow. Sunday, that storm's going to continue to move through, 39 degrees, and then it should be kind of out of our hair, and we're going to see some clear weather early next week. 44 degrees on Monday, 48 on Tuesday, warming up. Down in Sedona, they're seeing that same storm that we are. 52 degrees on Saturday, warming up into next week. 58 degrees Monday. We'll be right back.
I've tried all kinds of TV services. The phone company wasn't cutting it, so I cut them. Spotty satellite? Nah, that dish wasn't appetizing. But the all-new Suddenlink? It comes with free HD and a picture so sharp it makes real life look lame. Now I have up to 300 channel choices, earloads of digital music, 10,000 on-demand titles, and new TiVo Stream that turns my tablet into a TV and lets my DVR take road trips. I've seen the future of TV, and the future is easy.
Hi, I'm Terry Markson. As seasons change, so does the inventory at Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac. To make room for the 2014 models, we're clearing the lot, and that means great deals for you on our 2013s. Right now, you'll find rebates up to $10,000 on select Chevrolet models. Choose from a full line of vehicles, including the totally redesigned 2014 Silverado 1500. You can always count on our same relaxed, no-pressure environment. Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac, real hometown value.
Well, welcome back. Northern Arizona is buzzing this Saturday with events for all ages. Starting at 9 a.m., running through 3 p.m., St. Mary's Food Bank will be hosting a turkey drive at Albertsons and their local food bank. Other non-perishables will be accepted.
From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., the Museum of Northern Arizona has their Day of the Raven, which will explore the mythology of these intelligent birds.
Lastly, the 3rd annual Indigenous Bash at NAU Fieldhouse will be from 4 to 8 p.m. Live music and a fashion show are just 2 of the festivities to enjoy at the Bash.
For more details on these events, visit naztoday.com.
So I guess we're going to have a good weekend this weekend. There's a lot of stuff going on. And remember to stay tuned for Overtime, our sports show, which is coming up next.
Have a good night.